We go to our next recipe from Yakima. David Lynx is going to talk to us about chicken potato curry.
That's right.
David, welcome. And where did the
you.
recipe come from?
Actually, I used to manage a Thai restaurant, and I'd also sneak back while I was waiting for food to come up, and I'd watch the cooks work.
That's what they're doing.
And of course, they would never reveal their recipes, so I had to go home and try to read it out, redo it at home. So what we're actually going to make is something called Gangari Gai. It's a chicken potato curry, and it's very easy. And this is one of those things where you can find most of the things in your kitchen at all times. So if you're thinking of something for dinner, there's things out there already. So
let's cook.
Where do we start?
We'll start with cooking the chicken. Now what I like to do is I actually like to have partially frozen chicken. I buy the bags of frozen chicken, put this in the microwave for like a minute or so. One nice thing about that is that it's very easy to cut. And of course, this is a little bit softer than it usually is.
I see you're using a different mat here so that we're not going to contaminate our cutting board, which is a really important thing these days.
Yeah, it is. Now,
these mats are great because they can go right into your dishwasher and be
you actually
sanitized.
cook the chicken while it's still partially frozen.
Yeah, you can go in there,
Or cold, at least.
So I'll put this in here.
That's new.
There. It's been sitting a little bit, so it's not quite as frozen as it usually is, but it just makes the nicer cubes when you're cutting it.
I never knew that. That's a good trick to have, I'll tell you.
Usually by the time you get it all cut up and ready to go into the pan, it's going to be thawed.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And when it gets in the pan, it's going to be thawed too.
It's funny, I had to bring my favorite knife because it's the only one I always use. Even if it's in the dishwasher, I have to pull it out and use it.
Makes a difference if you don't have your knife.
Don't we?
Right, yeah. So we'll put the chicken in for a while. Now one thing I learned from the Thai cooks is that they always cook with 2 paddles.
Okay.
And so you go, it's much easier, especially when you want to break up the chicken as you're cooking it. So we'll get that chicken cooking for a little while.
Okay.
And one little piece we missed right here.
A jumper.
Are we done with this then?
We're done with that.
Okay, let's take this out of the way.
Now, are we browning this chicken or are we just cooking it through?
You're going to brown it for a little bit. So you want to turn it over. It may take a little longer to cook here. I mean, cook
give
here.
that a bit of time there to do its thing.
So
What's next?
So what we'll do is once this is cooked a little bit, we want to add the curry. And the curry, this is actually an Indian curry, even though it's a Thai dish. This is an Indian curry, and this is just the same yellow curry that you use in that you have in your spice, in your spice rack. And what you want to do real quickly is get the yellow curry frying, because it actually brings out it brings out the oil. And once that's in there a little bit.
If our viewers at home wanted to use a Thai curry for this, would that be okay?
There's a yellow curry that's a Thai yellow curry. It'll make it a little hotter.
And that tends to be a paste rather than a powder.
Yeah. I usually have green, yellow, matzaman, all those in my fridge at all times.
Me
and
too. Well,
they last forever.
They last a very long time.
So once that's in there, then we'll add the curry.
So you would normally have waited for the chicken to brown a bit.
Yeah.
And then in goes the coconut milk.
Yeah.
Coconut milk.
Now this is coconut milk. I use actually light coconut milk, because I like light coconut milk a lot better.
Can you smell this, George?
I can indeed.
It smells really good.
Oh my goodness.
So then what we want to do is we want to add the potatoes. So once this is going and kind of boiling a little bit, we'll get that going, is we're going to add the potatoes. Now I use all different, you can use any kind that's not the russet. So any kind of
these are Yukons, aren't they?
These are Yukons, right. Anything but russet.
Okay.
So I think Yukons or white or red, any one of
waxy.
those. Something waxy, you're right. So, and one nice thing about this is I'm usually one of those people that dumps and pours and doesn't measure. So you could just use any potatoes that you happen to have and put those in there. I actually do it with the skins on. Makes it much easier.
I like that.
Yeah.
Nice fiber too.
There's more vitamins to it.
There is.
Absolutely.
These potatoes, I just microwaved till they got a little bit soft. Now you don't want them too soft because they won't stay.
They're going to continue to cook in here.
Yeah, and they also, one nice thing is that if they'll help make the coconut milk thicker as it cooks.
Right, because of the additional starch.
Right, right. So we'll put in a little bit more of these. So white, red, or Yukons. These just happen to be Yukons.
I don't know, George. Now, you were talking about sauteing an onion. I think putting a little curry and some coconut milk, turning that on, that's going to make your house smell incredible.
Yeah.
The way that
does
smells,
make your house
it's a very good idea, as a matter of fact.
Right.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah. You know, it's funny about cooking with the 2 paddles because you think, well, you're you're messing up another spoon, but it just makes it so much easier when
It
you're
does,
dividing
especially when you're
things
trying
up.
to spread
Yeah.
out these potatoes.
Yeah.
We're talking about the
And I bet-
aroma of this dish with Kit Lewis, who's our floor director, sitting over there going, oh yeah, that's really
Yeah.
good. That's really good.
Curry just has this wonderful smell. And later on, we'll be serving it with jasmine rice, and jasmine rice also, when it's cooking, leaves a wonderful smell around
Right,
the house.
right.
Yeah.
It's that aromatic
So
thing.
there we go.
And talk about a nice substantial dish. I mean, you know,
Right.
that's something to sit down to dinner and really,
Right.
you know, sit back and say, okay, this is the main meal and it's
So
going to
how
be
long
great.
would you cook this?
This I cook for like another 10 minutes or
Okay.
so. It's almost like a Thai comfort food in a way. And
You
so
bet.
when we were at the restaurant, this was my one thing that I always like to order. And so it's really
And
a
if you
wonderful
use the
dish.
light coconut milk, this is really a pretty healthy dish.
It is pretty healthy. Yeah, just
very
chicken,
nice.
curry,
Do you put other
potatoes.
vegetables in here sometimes?
I haven't, but you know, it's one of those kitchen clean out recipes,
Sure,
so
you
you could
could.
put anything you
You
want
bet
to.
you
in
could.
it.
You
Yeah.
bet you can for color if you want it.
And for color, right.
So is there anything else we do to this?
That's it.
before
It's
we-
very, oh,
we
you know what?
just cook
I
it?
forgot. There's a couple little things as you want to
All
add
right.
near the end of the cooking.
Okay.
Is you add a little bit of sugar. Now the sugar, will actually, it doesn't make it sweet. It just brings out the flavors a lot more. And I found that, I learned that by watching the Thai cooks too, is that they all add a little bit of sugar to everything to kind of pull out the flavors.
Okay.
Now the other thing you'll want besides the sugar is a little bit of salt, and I have fish sauce. Now fish sauce is
Fish
very,
sauce, great
it's,
stuff.
yeah, it's very strong. So I often take the bottle and just shake it over.
George, are you
this.
familiar with fish sauce?
No.
It's very,
Oh,
it's
okay.
yeah,
it's made from fermented fish, and it has its own unique, distinct aroma.
yeah, yes. One thing you never
Oh,
want.
yes, it does.
Good fish
Yeah,
sauce
it does.
should not smell like bad fish. It just should smell like fermented fish, and when you buy it, you need to be sure that it's not
There's
cloudy.
a huge difference between bad fish and fermented fish.
And one thing you never,
think.
when you're going to go cook with friends, is you never take an open bottle of fish sauce in your car.
Never.
This is
Because if it spills in your car, you have to sell the car. Okay,
If you can find somebody to buy it.
That's right. But then a little fish sauce at the very end go in. But I
that-
usually
that-
put that in when it's just about finished
That
cooking.
is going to add a definite difference in the flavor.
It is.
Because it's very
But mostly
strong.
it's the salt that it adds.
It's very strong.
And if you didn't add the fish sauce, it wouldn't taste right.
That's right.
Well, speaking of tasting,
Are we ready?
That's right. You have forks under there.
now I really I
We
want
have
to see what
some
that last
forks
one. Let's get to
here.
this.
That's right. Thank you.
The little rice, mostly some of the sauce.
Get a
and
potato
I
and
want
a
a
chicken in there.
potato.
Yeah,
And now this bite is too big.
that's right. And you know, I serve it with rice, and I know you have two starches there, but it really works well together.
Well, I'm here to tell you, folks.
Nice job.
Thank you.
You still haven't called, huh? Okay. If you want to stay with that food, that's perfectly okay with us. But I'm here to tell you, this is something that's going to set everybody at your table right up and say, oh, thank you so much for this. And they'll ask for it again. 1-800-443-1999. Thanks to David Lynx from Yakima. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for
very
coming over.
much.
That was
This is
wonderful.
great.
Another little bite.
So,
Yeah.
my